Hello and welcome to our channel, Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artist of Marstream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
Hi, thanks for coming to the Marsh tonight. And tonight, the Marsh is my living room and the homes of the other performers you're going to see here tonight. Be sure and check out all the other great stuff that's happening at the Marsh. I myself am very busy with the Marsh Musical Project, the festival that's opening up in about 2 weeks. So check that out. The work you're going to see here tonight is new work. Much of it did not exist a few short months ago. So that feels a little bit like a miracle. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our first performer of the night, Edward J. Klaus.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We're here in San Francisco to celebrate my mother, Gail Louise, and we are heading to Zuni Cafe for brunch. That is bougie brunch. You got it. No 2-hour waits for panzanella salads today, people. I got a reservation. All right, so let's introduce you to everybody who's coming along. My mom and dad made it from Wisconsin. Is this the Zoom? Oh, hi everyone. Isn't he so handsome? Dick, say something. Dick Klaus. Thank you. Oh, pretty good. All right. My older brother is here with my older brother Joe, with his wife Susan, and they came from Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, hi everyone, I'm Susan and Joe. Oh, we are so honored to be here to celebrate Gail. This is so exciting. We come to San Francisco all the time. I love this restaurant. We actually had our honeymoon here, and my favorite thing at this restaurant. Oh, I know. I thought we decided that I was gonna talk because you talk too. Joe wants everyone to know that he's really excited to be here because he loves his mom so much. And we think it's so great that we're here after 20 years. And Ed, thanks for hosting. Susan, absolutely. It's great to have you here. My other brother, John, and his wife, Karen, are here, I think. So let's get going. Oh, wait. Javier is coming too. Javier is who I'm dating. Buenos días a todos. Estoy un poquito nerviosa y por eso, por favor, no me hagas hablar más. Ooh. I am in love with that sexy, unavailable man. Oh, good. Oh, well. Speaking of unavailable men, hey, Dad. Eddie, let me ask you something. What is it, Dad? What is a panzanella salad? It's a bread salad, Dad. So there are no greens in there? Like iceberg or spinach or Gail, what are those other greens I like? What do I like, Gail? Gail, what do I like? Butter lettuces. Eddie, are there any butter lettuces in there? There's possibly some herbs in there, Dad, but basically it's just an Italian bread salad. No, it's not. How in the good goddamn are you going to call it a salad when there are no greens in it? Come on, Eddie, a salad? Dick, who cares about the salad? Now just sit down and behave yourself. Oh, Ed, this is so special that we're here for Mother's Day. You boys have been a blessing to me. And I honestly thought we'd be doing this for a lifetime. You know, having dinners and brunch together all the time. And how special that the girls are here. Mom, what? Javier? Oh, well, of course, Javier. I'm glad you're here too. I did say you boys have been a blessing. Is he not a boy? Javi, you know I'm glad you're here. Boy, you're so much better than that last boyfriend Ed had. I'll tell you what's not a boy is that over there. Dad, I swear to God, if you make a scene about any transgender people here today, I will call you out in front of everybody and they might throw shit at you. So listen to Mom and behave yourself. My God, this is San Francisco and these people are my family. You know, it wasn't just a couple of years ago when you told me you were glad I wasn't one of those flouncy gay men. It was these people, you know, with open minds and loving hearts, Dad, that made me feel better because guess what? That hurt my feelings. They don't really care how flouncy I am here, Dad. I'm not really flouncy. I'm actually normal. I'm fucking normal. And I'm proud of who I am. And so should you be, no matter what I'm like. And I am flouncy. I am hella flouncy. Susan here. Yes, Ed, you are. You're hella flouncy. Thank you, Susan. Oh, now I'm getting fucking pissed. And Javier's giving me the look. So I got to tell you, Dad, I love you anyways, and I forgive you. Just don't say anything. Yeah, Dick. Shut up. Oh, and I am loving this. This restaurant is fantastic. And this table right here in the window to see the city buzzing. Oh, my dear, look at her. Oh, Dick, can you see that? What in the Sam Hale? Oh, how did she get like that, Ed? Oh, I'm going to give her some money. I'll just be right back. She probably could use it. Mom, sit down. Oh, God, I knew this was going to be hard for you, but you know, you can't make eye contact with everybody like that. What do you mean? I can't make eye contact with strangers? Ed, that is my superpower. Oh, look at her eyes up there. Oh, she didn't used to be like that. Can't you tell? She just got off track a little bit. I'm no better than her. She looks like somebody. Oh, Sherry. She looks, but Sherry died, huh? Oh my God, she needs help. Ed, how do you just sit here and look at her without noticing what's happening? Mom, I notice what's happening every time I walk out the door. I see it. It's just that you'll have no money left if you give your money to everybody on the street. And come on, we're here for you. We're doing this for you. Can't we just have a nice meal and enjoy each other's company? Oh, of course, dear. You know I'd love that, except for this next part. What part? You know, the next part you want to talk about. Wait, what part? Did you talk to Javier? Don't look at me, man. It's tu madre, man. She knows everything. Baby, calmate. Listen to your mother. Gracias, Javier. Oh, I knew you'd be right for my little Eddie. I helped out a little bit that day you met at the pool. I nudged him a little bit. What is happening here? Don't worry about it. Now, let's talk about it like a family meeting. Like we did when you told us you were a gay. Talk about what, Mom? The trauma, dear. The trauma? Yes, dear, the trauma. Oh, goodness gracious, where I've been for the past 20 years, I've learned a lot about that word. I had no idea. Your father and I had no idea what we were doing when it all started to happen. And my God, it was the 70s. We were still smoking cigarettes. Mom, it was the 70s, but what do you mean when it started happening? Well, when John, your brother, started to torment you for being a little gay boy at 8 years old. How your father and I let him abuse you for about 5 years of your childhood. I think you want to bring it up because that childhood trauma turned you into a raging alcoholic, just like Aunt Patty. But now that you're in recovery, you want to take your responsibility for the trauma and you want to forgive us and you want to move on with your life and find peace in your soul. Wow, Mom. I mean, that's pretty accurate and very awkward since John and Karen are sitting right here. No, they're not. They never showed up. You know that. Your brother has no idea what's going on with you. I suppose you could call him and reach out if you wanted to forgive him too. Oh, it's Susan, guys. Oh God, and Joe wants to say how sorry he is for the trauma that your brother caused you. And I don't know if you noticed yet, but Frances McDormand just walked in the restaurant and she looks amazing. Oh my God, that is her. Oh, I love her. Oh. She does look amazing. Susan, oh, thank you for being here. You and Joe have literally saved my life with love ever since she left. I am forever in debt with you, and I love you both so, so much. Oh, we love you too, Ed. We think you're extra, extra special. And now your brother, he sends his love too. And he says, well, he's not saying anything, but he's crying just a little bit. Oh, my sweet, sensitive boys. See, Dick, real men cry all the time. What are you talking about? I cry, especially when that goddamn insurance premium goes up. Wasn't even my fault when I hit that motorcycle. That son of a bitch didn't stop to save his life. It's okay, dear. Just eat your panzanella. Oh, Ed, now, you know I should have protected you when your brother started to bully you. I knew you were gay when you were 5. You loved Barbie and hair. Your father and I both knew, but we never talked about it, but we also didn't think it was good. It was a different time, dear. Gay meant you were sick or deviant. So, we thought if your brother could toughen you up a little bit, it might change you. So, we let it happen, Ed, and we shouldn't have. Oh, and it killed me to watch it. It killed you, Mom. Well, no, silly. You know what killed me. Usual interstitial pneumonitis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. You were sitting right there when we found out. You watched the whole thing happen. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I waited for you, Ed. You know that, right? You came all that way. You were so far away. It was so cold and you had all those storms, but you made it, huh? You came to tell me things before I left. Do you remember what you said to me so quietly in my ear, sweetie? Yeah, I remember, Mom. You told me everything was going to be all right. You said you knew I would worry and that I didn't need to anymore. That you and your father and your brothers were going to be just fine. You You grabbed my hand to comfort me. And then you told me about Highway 90 and how the snow was coming down sideways and you could barely see 5 feet in front of you. Well, you were in danger, huh? Mom, it was so scary. But then, out of nowhere, a big part in the sky opened up and a beam of light came down. Oh, and you said you knew it was me, the beam of light. And Dolly singing over and over again. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. You sang Dolly Parton in my ear so quietly at my bedside. And I said, I'm so tired, Ed. Oh, I did say that, huh? And you knew what I meant. And then you told me I could let go. You said I didn't have to hang on anymore and I could let go. Your strong voice, your sweet, sweet eyes, that was the message that you had to bring me that day. Oh, and that was so helpful, my sweet boy. My little Eddie Spaghetti, so strong, taking care of his mom. I loved her so much. I really just wanted her to be free. She was the strongest woman I have ever met in my entire life. Just a housewife and a mother who made cookies and kept the house clean. No, man, she was a force nobody could touch. So strong, so courageous, and just so kind. She faced the fear of death and then just let go. How do you do that and not want to hang on forever? She just let go. And then I completely fell apart. Oh, well, you pulled it together. That cheating boyfriend didn't help out very much, though, huh? By the way, Javier cheats on you, too. What? You seem to be drawn to men that are unavailable to you, dear. Is that what you're really looking for in a man? Come on, Ed, listen. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a cheating, self-absorbed loser, send him on his way. You should know better by now. And you deserve a real man who's in touch with his feelings, dear. I mean, I got my own emotional vacuum cleaner sitting next to me for 40 years. I wouldn't give him up for the world. You know, we've known each other since high school, Ed. He wrote the sweetest note in my senior yearbook. But Ed, when you fell apart, yeah, what helped to make you feel better? That picture of you in the kitchen where you're smiling so bright. And why do you think that is? It's your smile. It just seems so real that makes me feel like you're still here with me. Exactly. Wait, what? You're still here with me? That's right. We'll be together forever and always. You never have to cry tears of sadness because you miss me, because I never went anywhere. I live inside you. She lives inside of me. Dad. Yeah. Eddie, what's up? We never did have this brunch at Zuni, did we? No, we did not. Your mother died at 59 years of age on November 28th, 2001. We watched the whole thing happen. I miss her every goddamn day. Oh, well. Hey, Eddie. Yeah, Dad. Why don't you read to these people what I wrote to your mom when I was 18 years old? You know, in her yearbook, our senior year. That way, these people don't have to think I'm such an asshole. Oh, Dad, you're not an asshole. And what a great idea. Oh, the Lance, 1960, Racine, Wisconsin, St. Catherine's High School. This last page is reserved for Dick. Gail, 4 years. Woo. Sure glad we can now look at the future. Had a ball since I've known you, hon. This summer sure should be fun, and also the rest of our lives. You're the greatest. There are so many things to remember and talk about that I could hardly start to know where to start. I suppose the one thing that sums up the past wonderful years would be love. We've had our feuds along the way, and there should be a few in the future, just little ones. But just to say I love you should mean a lot. It does to me when you say it. Always be like you are right now, and we'll be a real happy pair. I'll always try to be as nice as possible and make you as happy as you can. I really do love you, and I know it will always hold. Love, Dick.
The pieces you'll hear tonight are excerpts from my newest full-length show. The first piece introduces William Davenport, my maternal grandfather. Born in Newberry, South Carolina in 1893, Davenport joined the Great Migration, moving his wife and 7 children from Newberry to Norristown, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. He speaks near the end of his life from Seattle, where he lived alone. I couldn't have been no older than 5. Papa Josh brought me up there when he went to Union County. It's not that far from Newberry. When in South Carolina, folks stick close to home. So you cross that county line, ain't nobody know you. Of course, he say, I'm Josh Davenport. And folks up there, they snap to attention. They know the name Davenport, all right. There's so many Davenport plantations with so much land all through South Carolina, you'd have to be a plumb fool not to know the name. So we rode into town. They saw him, saw me driving our wagon, dressed nice. We're both fair. Yes, they didn't ever suspect we weren't white. Well, while Papa Josh was doing whatever business he came for, I walked down the main street. Man started walking towards me. Old colored man, stooped kind of. He saw me, took off his hat, then over from his waist, stepped off the curb, and with his eyes looking at my shoes, he said, "Morning, massa, and a good day to you." Well, I would have stopped right there. But he was stopped, so I kept going. And as soon as I passed, he stepped back on the curb, put on his hat, and shuffled on down the street. And I said to myself, William Edward Davenport, that will never be you. I never forgot that. I didn't think too much on it at the time, but that opened my eyes. Doesn't take much for that picture show to rerun in my mind. I see that old man bent over from work, gnarly hands, oversized worn clothes hanging from his shoulders, grinning with half his teeth missing. Then I saw a candy store, big picture windows and a wide open door. The door, it was glass with a push bar in the middle and bells hanging from the bar. But the bells wouldn't ring because with the push bar, the door was already open. Well, I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was that old colored man treating me like I was white. But I stood right there, outside the front door. Oh, I was at least a foot from the threshold, probably more. I know better than to walk into any front door. So I was just standing there, outside, but kind of between the windows, looking at the walls full of penny candies, just admiring them, thinking how much I'd like a root beer barrel. That's what we get at Christmas, but I'd never been inside a candy store. And all those horehound, and sarsaparilla, and lavender candies, oh, my mouth was watering. A fat white man with a white apron was putting up a jar. He turned around and said, "Oh, son, don't just stand there. Come on in." Well, I looked to my right, I looked to my left, and I was the only one standing there. "Come on, son." He was calling me son. Not boy, not nigger, not Jew, and asking me in as if I were a white boy. So I took one step forward. "Don't be shy now, come on in. You're new in town, huh? Well, welcome. You've come to Andy's, the best candy store south of the county line, and I would be none other than Andy. And who are you, little man?" And he stuck out his hand. Well, I wiped my hand on the inside of my pocket. Both my hands were in my pockets to clean it and I reached it out. Well, he grabbed my hand, all tight and warm. So I looked him straight in the eye, and he smiled. "I'm William," I said. "William, nice to meet you. I expect your daddy will be along before long, but you kid now, so take a look around." Well, I don't know if I was more scared or shocked. "There's lots to choose from, and I expect you'll find your favorite in here." And he went beside the counter, sat down on his barrel, picked up his newspaper, and commenced to read it. Well, all of a sudden, all those walls started to swirl, peppermint candies, whorehounds, chocolate, just spinning. My ears flooded with silence, like I plunged into the deep end of the lake, and I didn't hear nothing more. I looked up, and there was a cupola in the roof with open windows, and a shaft of light seemed like it came down and bathed me. And that light was all I could feel, me in that shaft of light. And it was like everything stopped at that minute. My mouth dried up. I didn't want candy. I wanted to feel like that forever. I wanted that power. I wanted people to bow and scrape to me. "Yes, son. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes." I don't even remember how I got out of there. I had no money, so I couldn't buy anything, but when I left there, I was holding 2 root beer barrels. I stood in the street outside. I wanted to open my fist and look again to be sure there was something there, but I couldn't open my hand. Then I started running, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran. And when I saw a wagon, I slowed down to walk. And I opened my hand, and yep, sure as shooting, 2 root beer barrels. Now, how was I going to explain that? Or how would I explain spelling like root beer if I ate them? And then in there, looking at my poem, I see 2 dark brown lumps with bands crisscrossing like something bound. And I thought, that's it. That's what they've done. They done tied up the colored folks, bound them, and they'll never get free of them. We worked so hard to get anything. And if I got 2 root beer barrels at Christmas, I'd be happy. And now that man just gave them to me. Told me to tell my daddy to come on by with the rest of the family. Especially the missus, if and she liked chocolate. He has some special ones. I lost my taste for root beer right then and there. I didn't want to eat them. I didn't want them in my hands. I wanted to crush them under my feet. But I didn't. The horse was pawing at the ground. He likes sweet things, carrots mostly. Don't think he ever had candy before. How would he? Well, he had candy that day. I watched his eyes go soft and roll up in his head as he chewed them. Then he nuzzled at my hand like he wanted more. Well, he didn't know then that was a once in a lifetime taste for him. But I vowed to myself, nothing of this day would be once in a lifetime for me. Somehow, some way, someday, this would be my life. Yes, son. Yes, sir. This second piece is a conversation between my 2 grandfathers, the one you just met, and my paternal grandfather, William Harry Barnes, born in 1887 in Philadelphia. This conversation takes place in Philadelphia just before the outbreak of World War II. So, Davenport, you chose to walk away from your family and everything and everyone you knew. I chose to be a man. I figured by 40 I'd waited long enough. Help me understand that. Am I not a man? Well, boy, why don't you tell me? Of all people you know, you walk into that hospital with your white coat, you probably feel like the man, like you own the world. Nurses snapping to attention. Yes, sir, Dr. Barnes, handing you that scope you invented to do your surgeries. Anything else, sir? But you cross town. All that education and training isn't worth a hill of beans. You're just one more darky, hardly worth a glance. You know you can't even think about walking into that white hospital unless you get yourself in the back door carrying a bucket and a mop. Hell, you don't need to cross town. Any white man, low down or highfalutin, whatever, wherever you are, whatever you think you are doing, you best stop, put on your shuffling shoes, and eat whatever crow they're serving. Eyes down, yes, massa. Lift your eyes and you'll be toast before you can say squat. Hell, I run across you downtown. Pretend I don't know you. You'd have to scrape and bow to me. And if you didn't, any other white man passing by would make sure you did. And you're trying to tell me if you had a choice, that's what you choose. I'm saying, and I'll say it loud, I am proud to be a colored man. I was born colored. I'm raising 5 colored sons, and I'll die a colored man. Nothing would change that. And I wouldn't if I could. Well, boy, I choose to live with dignity. to be respected, control my own destiny. So you turn your back on the race? The race. Look, you want to be a race man, throw your lot in with the colored. Okay, your choice. I did what was best for me. But if we intelligent, talented men don't strive to be the very best we can, what becomes of the whole race? Oh, don't start with that W.E.D. Du Bois talented nonsense. The Negro race is going to be saved by its exceptional men. You ever hear white men talk like that? Let 10% of us be smart and do the work for the whole race. No, you don't. They go about just as they please. Talented 10. Y'all straight up admitting 90% of Negroes are shiftless no-counts, and you expect me to cast my lot with them? We've been held down. Most of us haven't had opportunity. But those of us with gifts who have, we bear the responsibility for the betterment of us all, for uplift. My father was born a slave, freed himself long before Lincoln got the notion. No education, poor as a turkey tail, married a woman whose father bought his own freedom and his wife's too. They came a long way, but they're in that 90% you want to throw away. You're lucky. Your father owns land. He had the wherewithal to send you to Hampton to get the only thing no one can ever take away from you, an education. And you quit. Negro college is no education. They're an indoctrination in ways to be better servants and tradesmen. Isn't that how Booker T got himself invited to the White House saying, "Oh, yes, sir, massa, just let us coloreds educate ourselves enough to take care of our own. We'll stay in our own places." But you wouldn't know what life was like in the South or at Negro colleges. You were born in Philadelphia, went to University of Pennsylvania. You think it was easy? It wasn't. But I decided I wanted to be a doctor, to take care of our people and use my mind in a way no one could hold me back. Oh, they laughed at me, studying by the kerosene lamp. They whacked at the piles of books I carried, but that didn't stop me. You know who you are and what you are about. Nothing and nobody can stop you. I guess somebody forgot to tell those no-count Negroes their talented local 10th representative was coming to uplift the race. Maybe you should have stood on that pile of books, get you some size and heft. I'm saying I made my own opportunity. Look at you. 6'2", blue eyes, sandy hair, looking for the world like a white man. Do you know how far you could go, how much you could do for the race by example? So what if we're segregated? Our Negro community is our strength, our resilience. We need all of us together, striving for a common good, each one helping as many more, bound by our churches. But no, you abandon your people and you're still angry at the world. Not that it's my business, but I don't see where becoming a white man made your life better. Common good, pull the race up. You talk like that because you've never been anything but colored. You can't see the world except as a Negro. You don't even see you're scraping by on the little scrap of dignity the O-Fays let you have, making what little world you can with white men's leftovers, you're spending your life pulling up no count nobodies. You think that's what white men do? No, they're living each man for himself, and that's why they got the whole pie. You wouldn't know the peace and the power that comes with being a white man. Nobody spits on me. Nobody judges me before they see what I can do. I have a job. I earn as much as the man working beside me. Hell, I'm good at what I do. I can run a whole crew. And that's not something they'd ever let a Negro do. I walk in the front door, my head high, and nobody tells me to go round back. This world belongs to white men. And you know what I see when I look in the mirror? A white man staring back at me. My looks are my rightful passport to the world I'm living in. You said yourself, create your own opportunity. Well, the good Lord gave me this opportunity, and by golly, I'd be a fool not to take it. And what about your children? What are you teaching them? They don't all look like you. I taught them to stand on their own 2 feet, use what God gave them. You left them to fend for themselves, to live with no father. You disappeared across the color line. I can't imagine my house, my life, without my sons, every single one. Their Sunday visits are the highlight of our week. My wife plays piano. Every single one of them plays an instrument: viola, violin, recorder, and we sing. Oh, the moment our voices rise in the harmonies of the Messiah on Easter. Leroy and Lord, both doctors now. Harry, the oldest, he didn't like school, so he's an undertaker, which is good. Help families find their loved ones a safe, final resting spot they can visit, surrounded by our own kind. Ralph, he's an architect, still dabbling in painting. Older boys have all been deacons in our church. The baby Carl, still in high school, but a house full. What a joy. And grandchildren to look forward to. The whole clan gathered round the Thanksgiving table, cut into that roast. Watching them string popcorn on the Christmas tree. Patriarch. Nothing on this good earth holds a candle to that. They are my greatest joy. A joy you will never know. You betray your children, then talking about being a man. I did my job. From what I've seen in the papers, they've done all right. And I'm not the only one who's figured out there's no glory in being a Negro if you have a choice. You think Aquanetta would have made it in Hollywood if she let them slap that label on her? No, she's a beautiful girl. Sky's the limit. Long as she's not branded, she'll work. You don't see them cutting her parts out in the South like they did with Lena Horne in Stormy Weather, or blocking her way like Freddie Washington. Aquanetta, her name is Mildred. She was 15 when you left. I'm not sure what her choices were, but no matter what she claims to be and how crazy her made-up name is, she never denied or abandoned the family. She still visits, sends money. What about Carolyn? What kind of man would your oldest daughter say you are? She's not mine. You hated being Negro so much, you disowned your own child for the color of her skin. What was that? Your practice run with passing? But she's the best of the lot and the best of the race. Ferocious, brilliant, one of our most formidable civil rights warriors. Her success with the transit strike and integrating the YWCA, she was just named the first executive secretary of the Philadelphia NAACP. She told me, but she'll tell anyone, it was color discrimination in her own family that made her a crusader. That's on you. But you surely do not get to claim credit for her. You talk about dignity and respect. From whom? A random white man in the street is more important than your wife, your children? With Davenport, you made your choice, but I'd rather be a proud colored man than a sorry white man any day. You gone thinking that, as if you have any choice to be any kind of white man. But I guess you'd make a sorry one if and you did.
Thanksgiving, 1986. I'm in the kitchen with my new friend and lover, Floyd. We're making coffee and hear this car outside. Are you expecting someone, Floyd? Oh, that'll be George. He's my ex's stepfather. He's coming to pick up Jill to take her to Thanksgiving for dinner with Linda and her family. Hey, Floyd. Any chance of some coffee for my mug? We got a long drive ahead of us. But how you doing, guy? Well, George, I want you to meet Nancy. I'm doing a lot better than the last time you met me last spring. Well, hey, happy to meet you, Nancy. And I can see you have put a smile on Floyd's face. But we got a long drive. We'll have to get to know each other another. Okay, George, like no more talking, like I'm ready. Like, let's get there. I'm like getting hungry already. But hey, Jill, you gotta stop and you gotta say hi to Nancy. This is this good-looking, athletic teenager walking down the hall at the door. Well, hey, I saw your cute little sports car out there. Like I was hoping I'd get to meet you. Like, I know Floyd told me he met this woman from LA, but like, we got to get going now. Like, we can't talk now. And like, Floyd, don't forget, like, you got to come get me on Sunday. Cause like, I got a really important basketball practice on Monday. Like, don't forget. And they're out the door. Floyd, I don't know what to say. I feel stupid and dumb. Like, I had no idea that there was a teenage girl behind that closed door in the hallway. I didn't even know you had kids. I'm sorry, Nancy. Like, I've been meaning to tell you. Like, I know I should have told you sooner. Like, but I just kept hoping that we'd see her walking down the lane or hear her here in the kitchen, and I'd have to tell you. But Floyd, we've talked a lot. You told me our first date that you had never talked to anyone that much about personal stuff in your whole life, and that you left this big piece out. I'm loving you enough. It's not a deal breaker, but Floyd, this is huge. I know, and I'm telling you, but we haven't seen her because she's independent. I'm telling you, she wouldn't be any hassle to us at all. She's here because her mom moved to Sacramento last year and she didn't want to go with her. She's like the star, the girls' athletic star, basketball, soccer, and she wanted to stay here. So, like, of course I said yes. She was 2 when I met Linda. So, and she was cute and strong, independent then. And damnedest thing is, I sometimes think I stayed with Linda just because of Jill. Well, Floyd, I'm sure you're a good dad, and I'm happy to hear about it, and I'm happy for Jill that she gets to stay. But you know, I don't have any kids or siblings either. Floyd, I'm afraid I'm pretty spoiled, only child. I don't know anything about living with a teenager. And she's a young woman, Floyd. This could be difficult. No, I'm telling you, it'll all work out just fine. You're both so nice and funny, and you like to bake. She loves baking. And you were a teacher. I know you know how to talk to kids. I'm telling you, it'll all work out. It'll be just fine. And Jill's right. I have to drive to Sacramento Sunday, but I'm sure you'll do okay and be fine with the dogs. And I was. Actually, I have to admit, I was falling in love with those two beautiful German shepherds, Volker and Freya, as much as I was falling in love with Floyd. In fact, years later, when our marriage hit some of those bad patches, I'd say to Floyd, damnedest thing is, sometimes I think I stayed with you because I'd fallen in love with those dogs. And Floyd was right about Jill's independence. The 6 days I stayed after Thanksgiving, I never saw her again. When they returned from Sacramento, she went into her room through the sliding glass door, the door she used all the time to come and go. And I find out she eats at the restaurant where she's working. And Floyd and I are having such a good time. We don't talk anymore about Jill. When I look at it now, 35 years later, from the perspective of age, maybe a little wisdom, and 7 years a widow since Floyd died, and 6 months since Jill died, way too young, I am amazed that we didn't talk more about Jill and that there were no ground rules. And all I can remember is comfort myself that it's how it was with Jill. Linda had set no ground rules. Jill told me she never liked it if Floyd tried to discipline Jill. She wanted her to have that independence. And Floyd and I were in love. We were coming out of horrible marriages and divorces, and this was like a breath of fresh air. So we went with Floyd's, it'll all work out. And we rolled forward to February 1st when I moved in to Mendocino with Floyd and Jill. Second night, we hear girls' voices in Jill's room. Hey, girls, I'm taking Nancy to the wharf. You want to come along? And they do. Get there, and the first one to talk is Allie. Small town. And my parents, they know you're here already. And they said, oh, they want to meet you. And they met you at that party. And they're happy that you're here. And I think I remember, Rhonda. Yes, they were talking about you and how proud they are, as proud as Floyd is of Jill. Well, not for such good reason, really. Jill's the star, and I'm the steady backup, and I just set it up so Jill can make the points. And I am the steady observer. I don't want to get out there in the court, but I'm okay to watch their games. And yes, and Allie, you are awful sweet, and you're steady in that stupid driver's ed class too. Wait, you can't believe it? You're nice to the guy? Well, it's not so hard. I want to drive legally. And all you have to do is smile and be nice to the guy. He's your route to a driver's license. Yeah. Is that what's this comment about driving legally, Allie? I don't care how I deal with that stupid idiot or that class. I can promise you, I'll be driving. Don't you worry. Come on, girls. Let's not talk anymore about school. That's just too difficult. But let's talk about something fun. When's there a game that Nancy and I can come to? 2 days later, the moving truck arrives with all my stuff. And Floyd's house has been emptied out from the divorce. So we spend a great day arranging furniture, and there's boxes all over the kitchen. We're starting to unpack dishes, and there's boxes all over the floor. I started to put some towels and sheets in the linen closet. After dinner, I go in the office to set up my computer. Boy, like how much shit, like Floyd, like how much shit does this woman have, Floyd? Like I went in the linen closet, like I wanted to get something out. Like, Floyd, it's all falling down on me. Like there's shit everywhere. Like I looked at these counters. If like I did decide to cook, or like a friend came home with me, like where are we gonna eat, Floyd? Yeah, I didn't like tell me this, like when you said she was like moving in. Oh God, Floyd, is there gonna be any room left for me? Like, what is this? Oh, Jill, now calm down. Let me hug you. It's all going to work out fine, Jill. There is some good stuff in these boxes. You should see her cake pans, Jill, like heart shape and tree shape. You're going to love baking with her. And Jill, she's easy to talk to. Give her a chance. And like your privacy, your room, that's your room, and you get the bathroom in the hall. We'll never use that. I promise you, Jill, give her a chance. It will work out. The next day, I clear enough space on the counter to stir up some cookies and bake them close to the time school's out, hoping that there'll be some good smells. I go upstairs and I'm unpacking books in the library. Happily, I hear voices. What is this? Like cookies? Like, I can't believe. When was the last time one of our mothers made cookies for us? Preschool? It is sweet, Jill, but well, how is it living with her here? Oh, she is nice enough. Like she's a good person, and mostly like I love Floyd, and like I've never seen him happy like this. Like he's in love, and like they laugh, and you look at their faces, you know it's all good. Like I'm sure the sex is good too, but her stuff, look at it. Her stuff is like everywhere, and it's good stuff. Like look at these China dishes, German. Like she convinced Floyd, like these are going to be the everyday dishes I have to use. Like these are breakable. Like this is hard. Like the shit my mom had. Like you didn't have to worry about it. But the worst is like I don't have a reason to be her like anymore. Like I was the go-between, like almost a counselor with Linda and Floyd. Like mom had come to me like, oh, should I leave Floyd? Should I not leave Floyd? I like the fights. And Floyd had like come to me and say, I'm so sorry. I was so mad at your mom. Can you please apologize? Like, and now there's no fights. I hear this and I decide that I'm going to pack up some of the weirdest, most fragile stuff and put it in the closet in my office. And then I'm going to work to keep the counters more clear so Jill feels like she has more space. The next Tuesday, I come home and there's this scribbled note by the phone. Call your aunt. Like she's frantic, like she worried what's happened, like call her. That night, after I've made a call to my aunt, I'm in the living room reading and Floyd's at work. Jill comes storming down the hall. My parents, like, they're gonna kill me or I'm gonna kill them. Like all they care about, like God, all they care about is like the money. Like Kent just like found out that the child support is like going to my mom. Like he thought Floyd was getting the money. Like, cause like if you were Kent, like you'd want to be paid for like having a girl in your teenager in your house. Like they can't believe it. Like Floyd loves me enough. He doesn't want that child support. Like I bet Floyd never told you. Like Linda, I was like 15. Linda left me in an apartment down in Mendocino. Like I had to hike up Little Lake to come here. Like asked Floyd if I could move back in. Floyd was like livid. Like, why the hell didn't your mother come and talk to me? You're my daughter. Of course you're coming home. But I think sometimes Floyd's the only one that loves me. They only care about money. Jill, I don't know what to say. I've never even heard your parents' voices on the phone. But you have heard my aunt's voice. So, I know a little bit about crazy families. Oh, Nancy, no. Like, she loves you. Like, I got it right away. She didn't know, like, maybe you moved in with like some axe murderer. She didn't know who this guy is. Like, and she didn't know who like I was. Like, I heard her voice, like, who's this woman here? But I told her, like, I'm Floyd's daughter, and she got it. She's nice, Nancy. And she said to me, like, Nancy loves kids. You guys will have fun. Like, just tell her to call me. And you did, right? But they're going to kill me. All I can say, Jill, is I can't make it better, I'm sure. I can only say I was a teenager once. You wouldn't believe it now, but I was. And nobody likes their parents when they're 17 years old. And sometimes it helps, Jill, just to talk. I probably can't do anything, but I can listen. Sadly, the rest of February, all of March, half of April goes by. Jill does not initiate any more close talks. Mid-April, Floyd has arranged that we're going to go to Reading for Easter so I can meet his family for the first time. I get this crazy idea that I'm going to make hot cross buns. Never done it before. I slip the recipe under Jill's door and say, we'd love to have you come along, and any chance you'd help me with these rolls? What day you might be able to help me? Thursday, says the note on the counter. So Thursday afternoon, I'm getting out all the ingredients and getting stuff ready, and Jill comes out and, this is gonna be fun. Like you really could just stand back if you want. I like baking, and Floyd's right. You got some great stuff for baking, but I'll eat one now, but no, and no again to go into Floyd's family. They didn't never liked me, and they didn't like Linda because she was divorced. But the worst was Floyd. She talked him into eloping. I don't remember. I was at my grandma's, but they went to one of those places like Reno, Vegas. I don't know. But that's the worst fight I remember. Floyd was saying, for God's sake, can't we just go to a little church near Reading so my mother can come? But no, they eloped. And they won't like it that you're living here. They call it living in sin. But you'll do okay because you talk. You're good at talking, but I'm not going. Any chance, though, that you could leave some stuff so Allie and Rhonda and I could do some baking? I'll make sure there's plenty of stuff on the counter so you guys can do some more baking. And Jill is spot on about Floyd's family. They're rigid and very conservative Christian. We can't sleep at his sister's because we're not married. So we're at the motel. And as we're leaving, Floyd hugs me and says, thank you. You had to meet my family, but I know they're kind of weird, but you got us through it. Thank you. Late May, not long before school's out. I'm in the office again. Hey, Jill, there's a guy at work with this cool little car that was his mom's. She can't drive anymore because she's too old. And it's a sweet little car. And I'd like to get it for you. So I don't have to worry about you walking up and down that busy little lake. Floyd, that's really sweet, Floyd. But I've been meaning to tell you, but I did fail driver's ed. He is such an ass. But I'll make it up next year. It's I can make it an incomplete, so I won't spoil chances for Stanford. God damn, Jill, I'm usually real proud of your spunk, but this is just plain damn stupid. To give up the chance to get your driver's license and make life easier for all of us? It's done, Floyd. I'm not talking about it anymore. It's done. And I hear her door slam. I get across the hall as fast as I can. And I grab Floyd and hold that fist that he's about to pound into the sink. Damn it, I love that stubborn-headed girl, but I could wring her neck right now. And Floyd, as stubborn as you are and as stubborn as I was, don't you think that there were hundreds, maybe thousands of times our parents wanted to wring our neck and we're still alive? So obviously they didn't. I think, Floyd, you just got to suck this up. It's part of being with a teenager. July 7th, school's out. I'm driving up Little Lake, beautiful day. All of a sudden, I see this older little Toyota pickup headed toward town, and Jill is driving. I slow down and I think, oh God, I should probably follow her wherever she's going and just say, Jill, talk to me. What's with the truck? But I know she'd tell me to fuck off, just like she did Floyd about driver's ed. So I determined I'm going to talk to her when she comes home tonight. 10 o'clock at night, I'm in bed reading. I'm reading The World According to Garp, because actually it's the anniversary of my father's death. And that's one of the ways I always cheered myself up. At 10:15, we hear the volunteer fire whistle in the distance. And Volker sits up and howls at the top of his lungs. And the phone rings. Oh, dear God, tell me it's not Jill. We got to talk to Floyd. Is he at work? 2 minutes later, the phone rings. Come to the hospital and bring my address book. I got to call Jill's mom. I put the dogs in the truck with me because I need their comfort. And get to the hospital. I haven't been in the waiting room too many minutes, and Floyd comes out of ER. God damn it, Nancy, she looks dead. The coma is so deep. And that's the helicopter. They're taking her to Santa Rosa Memorial. God, I don't care. They're saying how strong and athletic she is, but she looks dead. Oh my God, Nancy, I don't know how I'm going to talk to her mother. Like, I wish you could. You're good at shit like that. You know that ship's not going to sail, Floyd. I'll be right behind you, holding your back. And all you have to do is keep it simple. Jill had an accident. She's in a coma. They're airlifting her to Santa Rosa Memorial. We will meet you there tomorrow morning. And then, Floyd, here's where you got to put your money where your mouth is and say, it'll all be all right. And I think that we're all going to have to use this as a wake-up call. And all of us adults are going to have to work to be better parents, because Jill is our daughter.
My country, 'tis thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. I'm late, rushing, and the early morning Portland traffic is dawdling, as traffic is wont to do. A fuzzy mist of almost rain, windshield wipers on intermittent, the gray muting the barely spring landscape, as blossoms begin to intimate themselves, promising hints of color after another long, dreary black and white winter. Newscasters enthusiastically bemoan the most recent evidence that humanity continues teetering the brink of insane. As I glide into the Office of Immigration and Naturalization Services, a place I've been many times over the years, green card, fingerprints, application for citizenship, American History Trust, with a dry, humorless young government official in which I embarrassingly botch the most obvious question. Name 3 countries the US fought in the Second World War. Italy, Japan, Russia? Forgetting Germany as if that hadn't been cruelly branded into my psyche. Today, I am here to become an American. I do my best to bypass a small crowd of sleepy early morning protesters, stragglers from last night's demonstration, holding signs, abolish ICE, families belong together. Where are the babies? This is just after the reports start coming of immigrants, brown children, babies torn from their parents, locked in cages. A devastation that will seep deep into the marrow and sit there cancerous and crazed for the rest of their lives. What makes a person legal? I prayed to my God to give me a life I can really live, and here I am. I can do what I like. I can dance. I wear color. I can let the hair go long and feel the wind blow through. I even drive car. I make my own money. I have apartment is small, but oh, so much nicer than I ever begin to imagine. So thank you to the US of A. Life is very good. The irony of this day is not lost on me, as some of us are deemed worthy to enter and stay in this country, to name it home, while others, sorry, Charlie, criminals, lock them up. The guard, bored, taking a gulp of his now coagulated Starbucks, looks over my paperwork as I bend to unzip my boots and sail through the metal detector. I'm late, I pant. Don't rush, don't worry, you're gonna be fine. There's a thick crowd pouring out of the chamber into the foyer. Here, like me, to become naturalized, unnatural. Like generations before me, I am an immigrant, sort of. And as of late have been more and more seriously considering refugee as I contemplate my allegiance to this country, watching it turn this beautiful civilization madly decompensating. Fleeing could be an act of wisdom, survival of the fittest, and yet this has become my home. The morning we leave Toronto, we gather at my grandparents' home for photographs. I'm wearing my party dress, black patent leather shoes, and holding my little plastic doggy purse. I'm barely 6. This is a formal moment. We're going to be going on an airplane to live in California. Nothing urgent or refugee about this fleeing, though I imagine both of my parents feel some silent relief leaving theirs and the demands of being good, loyal sons and daughters. My father's mother, clingy and histrionic. My mother's mother sorrowing the deaths of her 2 sons. My mother's brothers. The grandfathers distracted by the world at large, mostly behind their newspapers, living the important lives of men. Distant and dutiful, tolerating these needy women who are bottomless, demanding, insatiable. We leave. Snowsuits and icicles and squirrels daring the high wire. We leave the popcorn man coming with his cart past my grandmother's house every afternoon at 3, and the best penny candy selection at Jimmy and Sue's smoke shop down on Bathurst Street. We leave 5-pin bowling and French fries with vinegar and Judy and Danny Foster, my brothers and my best friends, less than a block away. But most importantly, I realized later, we leave extended family, clan, and what could have been community watching over us, tracking our lives, a place to retreat to when the turmoil of our nuclear family began its roiling upheaval, a simple kind of belonging that never existed for us after that. so far from home. I hear my name called twice, Courtleigh, Courtleigh, and nudge my way through the crowd. Excuse me, and up to the front. I'm here, it's me. The clerk starting to spell it out as if I don't know the sound of my own name. C-O-U-R. A friendly guy, Kevin, the master of ceremonies, is up in front, keeping the crowd entertained, carnival barker-like, as we move through the motions of filling out our paperwork, turning in our green cards, registering to vote, and waiting for the Honorable Lila Yang Yu to arrive to conduct proceedings. Looking around, I'm one of the few faces that don't appear to really belong in this wide, beautiful tapestry of humanity. White and secure and safe, well, safer in this country. My home in a good neighborhood. My car pretty much paid for. The language and easy drawl that flows from my tongue. Reading automatic. Passing as a one who belongs. An entitlement I've taken for granted most of my life. I have lived here many more years than not, a wobbly status, idealizing the country to which I was born. Oh, Canada. Denigrating the destruction and despair this country continually perpetrates. And for me, becoming a citizen isn't something I've saved and prayed and begged and bargained for. I've had my green card since I was a kid. Surrendering it will be what? A casual next step. Okay. I'll become a citizen. The thing you have to learn is to wait, to be patient. They tell you, come back tomorrow, come back next week, come back next month, don't come back. They tell you, take a number, stand in this line, fill out these forms, or don't call us, we'll call you. And the phone, she never rings. They don't care. They don't want to hear your sad, terrible story. No, they see only the haggardness of you, taking the stench. Nothing pretty like the glossy magazine photos they all aspire to live up to. You, you're just another statistic, another dirty refugee, a potential enemy invading. Yeah. Asking for more than they think you will ever be deserving of. I've put this off for decades. Unlike my mother, my father, my brothers before me, liking my association with a peaceful country and not a military industrial complex, safeguarding my potential escape hatch and my ability to travel without the condemning eye of foreign immigration officers. But with Trump whirling haphazard, grandiose and dizzy in his power, handing my passport and green card to the officials, I have found myself photographed and fingerprinted when I've returned from being out of the country. And imagine the day, the database flagging my various political proclivities, petitions signed, donations sent, when I might hear, ma'am, please follow us, we have some questions. And being escorted into a private room where they not so politely tell me, sorry, we're not letting you back in again. I'm sitting next to a Vietnamese guy who I chat up as we wait, a pharmacist with Kaiser, who, like me, has been here since he was just a boy and has never gone back. He and his sister were boat people, coming to America on their own over treacherous seas, his ship invaded by real live pirates. I tell him about his country, having been there years ago, how beautiful and hot and chaotic it is, unlike here where we all pretty much stay dutifully, politely between the lines. Kevin, at one point enjoying his own performance, picks up his phone and mock orders for the group. 18 pepperoni pizzas, please. 76 of us leading the big patriotic parade here from 31 countries. I turn to watch as row after row of us rise, passing the microphone, saying our first names and countries. Alejandro, Mexico. Anita, Ecuador. Prasad, India. Yun, China. Mariana, Latvia, Zuhan, Nigeria, João, Brazil, Johanna, Canada. Each one come to this promised land, just as we did decades earlier. My father in search of fame and fortune for himself and a better life for his family. California, here we come, right back where we started from, where bowers and flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawning, birdies sing and everything, and sexy man says, don't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up that golden gate. California, here I come. Oh yeah, California, here I come. After Russia invaded Ukraine, one afternoon men show at factory of my father. They tell him they buy his business, that they will give 5% what it's worth. He tell it not for sale. He and my grandfather spent whole life to build, they not to sell for 5%. The men say, you take the 5 or you'll never see family again. It was simple. Is that, oh, we took the 5, yeah, and we've run. We make good life here. You cannot imagine the gift of the freedom you live this country. The energy in the room is thick, palpable, anticipation, excitement, sorrow, relief. Layla enters regal, royal, draped in her black robe. I had imagined a judge full of sour-faced seriousness and scorn, slamming their gavel, order in the court. I actually feel myself tearing up as she begins to tell her story. I want to welcome you to the United States of America, and perhaps the most important day of your life. But before we get to the proceedings, I want to tell you a little bit about me. My father was Cuban. My mother from South Korea. I was raised in Alabama and married a Scottish, Irish, Italian, American mutt. Well, we try to follow all our traditions for our children, well, sometimes much to their dismay. And I want to implore you, don't lose your uniqueness. Don't blend too far into the melting pot, treading water till your souls and your histories drown. Your backgrounds and your histories and your cultures and your ways of life, well, they're precious and they're what make this country so unique and magnificent. She then rises and invites us to stand. We are to repeat after her the oath, renouncing the allegiance to the lands from which we came, pledging to defend the Constitution and bear arms on behalf of this, our new home, swearing to perform service in the armed forces, to fight to the death for the United States of America. So help us God. I make up my own words, mumbling, reluctant, vowing to defend the planet and to serve humanity. While I have killed generations of mosquitoes and have referred to myself at various times as the Saddam Hussein of the ant world, I have never really seen, let alone touched a gun in person, and pray I never will. We then put our hands over our hearts to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm taken back to Miss Hoag's 5th grade class, facing the flag every morning. Spinsterish, immaculately powdered, she wore prim sweater sets, smelled like Love's Baby Soft, and had helmet hair so dippity-dooed, not even a big wind could make a flutter. My girlfriends and I, giggling as we hold our over-the-heart hands at an angled salute, mocking the perfect pointy breast beneath her armored bra. No softness, no nurture, no grace. And then here's Kevin again with the microphone, and we all join in a bad junior high rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. No Beyonce, no cheering fans, no one down on one knee, head bowed, fist raised, And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Celebrating war, the cruel history that's made America great. So many faces are not from here. The ones with turbans and headscarves and darker skin. The ones with scars and sorrows, oh, and exhausted eyes. Generations of devastation etched into the deserts of their lineages. The ones who fled wars and genocide and famine. Ethnic cleansing, which sounds so clean and pure and well-intentioned. The nightmare bombs, most probably proudly made in the good old US of A. Shithole countries, as Trump has so charmingly proclaimed, that once were part of the garden. People who have most probably already suffered greatly at the hands of those they are now joining as American family, come here with nothing, to start all over, to dream a new dream. Bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. It's a time of rejoicing for many, hoots and whoops going out as we are declared US citizens. The Jamaican woman in front of me in her plastic pearls and faded house dress, quietly weeping. The Burmese family, a few seats away, grinning ear to ear, hugging and kissing. The short, round Honduran man behind me, waving in a frantic joy the little red, white, and blue souvenir stars and stripes we've each received in our welcome packets. The woman, covered head to toe save for her face and wearied hands, the light long gone out in her, going through the emotions of trying to resuscitate some semblance of a life, to find the energy to continue on and simply live, free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. Do you think any of us want to leave our home, to come to somewhere with no one and start all over with nothing? You look at us and think we're stupid, but how many languages have you had to learn just to cope and survive? We pledge the allegiance because we have to, not because it comes from the heart. We want to be made legal, as you say. Then there's one less of the oppressions. Oh, it's not that I am not grateful. No. It's just I want to speak truth of it. We are prisoners. I cannot go back to my country. I cannot live here in peace. What to do? Me, I am lucky one. I can clean your house and earn enough money to pay rent and make food. But this is all. I just hope I don't get spit on or shot at on my way home tonight. Not your American dream, eh? Yeah, so sorry. So yay, hooray, I am citizen. But I will never be American, not in my heart and never in your eyes. I think about the map of the world that hung on that 5th grade classroom. This is where coffee beans come from, this rice, that sugar. Every country a different shade of pastel tucked neatly inside precise, well-drawn lines. How the first time I went to Mexico, crossing the border from San Diego to Tijuana, in a moment, everything changed. The colors, the smells, the language, la comida, el agua, la música, the skin of the people, the tidiness or not of sidewalks and crosswalks and ruddy pockmarked roads. How we've taken this fragile blue ball and drawn boundaries, erected checkpoints, set up watchtowers and decided these people over here, those people there. According to Google, just last year, over 82 million people around the world were forced to flee their homes. War, global warming, genocide, famine. Oh, and now with Afghanistan and the many economic devastations of COVID, and all those pesky Haitians. I don't care how far they've come, send those suckers back. Walking with whatever they can carry. not flying peacefully over the purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains in their Sunday best with boxed lunches and comic and coloring books like we did. There's something about the land to which we are born, an energetic resonance, a sense of cellular harmony. I am fundamentally more American than I am Canadian, and yet, but it's time for me to vote, to muster whatever little power I have to make a tiny dent in a world that feels so bashed and bruised and tarnished. And apparently it will be much harder for my survivors, bureaucracy-wise, should I die in this country not being a citizen. So in part, I'm doing this to make things easier for those who will survive me when the good Lord and his choir of angels decide to call me back home. I nudge my way out of the building when it's time. The sky has opened up and a rare early spring sun is casting down rays of unfamiliar welcomed light. Beautiful Oregon. The crowd outside has grown. Some who've camped out all night, their backpacks and sleeping bags, their only remnants of home. Some, another mother for peace, remember them, handing out bars and bottles of water. Others suited and sincere on breaks from their jobs in these government offices. Someone is playing an out-of-tune guitar and singing Richie Haven's Freedom. It is a kumbaya moment, a flash from the past. How is it we have come so far and no apparent distance at all? I sit down on the sidewalk. Above me, the infinite in all its mystery is continuing on. Fathomless worlds of galaxies, planets, and stars extending out beyond forever in an exquisite beauty we cannot even begin to comprehend. I'm not quite weeping, but my heart is breaking. I cannot leave this country, just as I cannot leave this planet, because this is where my God has put me. And for now, as much as anywhere, this is my home. Freedom, 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 oh freedom, 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 freedom. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long way from home. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Oh, thank you. Why are you getting dressed? Come back to bed. The Nada Club is going down to the RC flying competition today. We'll do our annual tour of the whiskey distillery on the way back. Of course you will. A drinking club with a flying problem. But we're supposed to do our donations today. We can do that tomorrow. You've been saying that since Thanksgiving. It's December 28th. I'll just do them. We're going skiing tomorrow. Well, when we get back. We need to do it by December 31st. I'll just do it myself again. No, I like helping decide where we give our money. I'll be home by 5. Okay. Have fun. Oh, so much to do today. Where to start? I need to write that press release for the boycott of the chancellor. Can you believe she said, I don't know why students would want to come to City College. It was quoted in the Examiner. If that's not evidence that she is in bed with the accreditor's agenda to downsize our college, I don't know what is. Oh, wait, I have to grade those finals. No, I have to make those union calls. Email. Oh my God, 87 new emails. Yeah. Hi, Marcos. Yes, of course I lined up a Spanish speaker for KIQI. Send. Hi, Ellen. Can you do a radio interview first thing in the morning? Send. Dear Katrin, thank you for your kind offer to speak on student learning outcomes at the rally. If you want to talk about the privatization of higher education or regulatory capture, we'll give you a spot. Send. Roger, we need to make sure everyone is on board with the plan. What's the plan? How is it already 5:30? Where's Greg? I'm just going to do those damn donations myself. Too bad, because we have fun doing them together. We need to have more fun. Middle East Children's Alliance. Submit payment. Nonviolence International. Submit payment. Finished. 7:30. Where the fuck is Greg? I'm home. Do not talk to me right now. I had a great day. I flew the Flying Tiger, and the distillery let us sample their premier single malt scotch. I said, don't talk to me. You were supposed to be home by 5. I wasn't driving. I did the donations by myself again. Why can't you just be happy that I'm walking through the door? God, you're crazy and abnormal. What? You are crazy and abnormal. What? Asked and answered. Greg, you need to take that back. No. No? No? What's happening? He won't take it back? He sounded so mean. We don't fight like that. Am I crazy? What are you doing? Come to bed. We promised never to go to sleep mad. I'm not mad. Something's different. Broken. We'll start marriage counseling. Okay, I'll come to bed. Susan? Hi. Shouldn't you be in jail this weekend? I stopped for a few drinks. They wouldn't admit me. I'm a bad girl. She's doing time for drunk driving. How many more weekends do you have? 1 million. 30 days for the drunk driving, 30 days for violating the restraining order. And I still can't see my children without a fucking chaperone. That's gotta be hard. Zoe's a senior in high school now, right? And Ty a freshman? Ty almost didn't make it. We had to hire a tutor. Otherwise, he would have been a fucking loser dropout. I went to Berkeley. His father went to Stanford. You know, maybe he just needs to know that it's okay if he's not college bound. Let's talk about you, girl. You know I love you, darling. I really do. And as your friend, I need to tell you something. You live in complete denial. Now, as I see it, you've got two choices. You can face reality or continue on your current path. Okay. The fuck? Greg is uncomfortable in his own home. Don't you think that's really, really, really weird? It's weird he told you. He never told me. The fact that you don't know is what bothers me, darling. He's felt that way the whole time. The whole marriage? The whole 32 years. December 28th was the first I knew something was wrong. Yeah, he called you crazy and abnormal. He told her that? He told you? He tells me everything. And you got all pissed off. Everyone knows how bad you treat him. Who? Really? Are you shitting me? The whole world knows. You don't know how to treat men. Oh my God. I am having a horrible flashback to engineering college in the 70s. Girls got peppered with advice on how to succeed in the male-dominated profession. Make men comfortable. Learn to talk about the things that men like to talk about. Oh, even back then, I bristled. Susan, I treat men the same as anyone. That's your problem, darling. You should do like me. I've made a list of things to talk about with men. Oh my God, she listened to that advice? Sports, motorcycles. I don't argue politics with them like you do. That just pisses them off. Susan, I'm not particularly interested in expending energy on not pissing men off. It shows, darling. You are so difficult. Greg says I'm difficult and worth it. How does that make you feel? Loved. You don't hear the concept that you're difficult? He means in a good way, challenging, stimulating. You live in a dream world, girlfriend. Maybe. It wasn't until December 28th that I realized my marriage needs fixing. You need fixing, darling. Greg is fine the way he is. We're going to cut to some serious chase right now. Are you sitting down? Yes. Ready? Yes. Are you sure? Susan, your husband is scared of you. You scare the fuck out of him. And he's no pussy. Everyone is scared of you, except me. Greg says you're borderline abusive. Greg says he loves me immensely. He calls me his trophy wife. Has he gone from thinking I'm difficult and worth it to difficult and worthless? Susan, I have been stressed lately, irritable. Whoa, you're acknowledging that? Yes, I'm working on my temper. Did you think Greg would wait forever for you to stop yelling? I have stopped yelling. Susan, why aren't you scared of me? Darling, we're the same. My husband doesn't have a restraining order against me, and I can see my daughter without a chaperone. Oh, Wendy, it's so bad. Susan, I have to go now. You know I love you, right? Bye. I start couples counseling with 2 questions. Are you here to fix what's broken or end the marriage? We want to fix our marriage. Yeah. Okay then. Think, is there anyone in your lives that might pose a problem or a threat to this process? No. Absolutely not. Okay, then let's start. We had a terrible fight. Wendy needs to deal with her depression. She should be on antidepressants. You know, I tried that once. It didn't work. I noticed a difference. You never said anything. Why are you criticizing me? Wendy, what do you think about Greg's suggestion? It makes me feel like I'm living in the 50s, when men pathologized women, gaslit them into thinking they were the problem, and then medicated them so they were easier to control. She makes everything political. She's obsessed with City College. I'm fighting to defend public education. On her soapbox again. You used to like that about me. For next time, I want you each to make a list of what you like about the other. Okay, let's start with the homework. I didn't have time to do it. He also didn't have time to call me when he was in Europe. It was a busy trip. You had time to fly with Franz. I like to relax and have fun. I'm at the bottom of your priorities. All right. All right. Noted. Can we talk about December 28th? When you yelled at me like a crazy woman? Can we talk about why I was so upset? And how you called me? That's the past. We need to go forward. We haven't had sex since December 28th. Wendy, how do you feel about that? Well, bad, but I just don't feel comfortable. I feel so disconnected from Greg right now. Sex is a way to be connected. I need to feel loved. How do we fix that? I don't know how to answer that question. That's why we're here. Maybe if you engaged in the process, we'd get somewhere. Again, criticizing me. I want to be with someone who accepts me for who I am. Like Susan? This isn't about Susan. This is about you constantly berating me. Greg, Do you want a divorce? I don't know how to answer that question. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fix us. I don't feel the same way. And you do want a divorce. I'm not ready to answer that. Greg, when will you be ready? I can't live like this. I'm in agony. I'll tell you by the end of the month. Okay then, good work. Where should we start today? Greg leased an apartment. We didn't talk about it. He just did it. It's relaxing to wake up by myself. So you do want a divorce. I am still not ready to answer that. Greg, when we got engaged, you explained how marriage is a sacred covenant before God. You convinced me of the importance of not giving up when things get hard. That by working to resolve problems, we deepen our knowledge of the other. And we grow in our humanity. We strengthen our relationship with God. Greg, we vowed that we would never divorce. What happened? I don't think that way anymore. Do you still believe in God? Yep. Me too. More than ever. And I still believe that marriage is sacred. What's changed for you? Oh, stop interrogating me. Why is everything a debate with you?
Law offices, how may I help you?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to the Marsh tonight. Be sure and check out our website, and thanks to all the performers, and good night.